Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. How are you all? I hope you all are fine and doing well at your home. Dear students, I welcome you in Pakistan International School TIES virtual learning system. And this is a grade second year's biology class. Dear students, in today's lecture, we are gonna continue our chapter number 24. In chapter number 24, we are going to see sex linkage in human, which is the continuation of the previous topic. In previous topic, in previous lecture, we have studied about sex linkage in humans. Now, this topic is related with sex linkage in humans, that here we will see sex linked disorders in humans. So let's talk about those disorders which are commonly found in humans. These are hemophilia, color blindness, and muscular dystrophy. As you can remember, if you remember, that sex-linked inheritance or sex-linked disorders are those which are present on sex chromosomes, especially on X chromosomes, because Y chromosomes having less genes, so it just inherited holendric characteristics to the male offsprings, but there are lots of disorders which are inherited by X chromosomes, which may be present or on the male X chromosome or female X chromosome. Male X chromosome also comes from female side. So we will talk about that X-linked recessive inheritance, which are hemophilia, color blindness, and muscular dystrophy. So first of all, let's talk about hemophilia. As you know, that a group of hereditary genetic disorders that impair the body's inability to control blood clotting or coagulation, which is used to stop bleeding when a blood vessel is broken. So, hemophilia is actually the blood clotting disorder in which the blood does not clot or does not coagulate when there is an injury, any cut or bleeding from any part of the body. So, blood continue to bleed, and the person can die due to um, and decrease the blood quantity in the body. So, in the whole history of hemophilia, the Jews were first to recognize it, and hemophilia, this disorder, is known as a royal disorder because a royal disease because first time that was seen in Queen Victoria's family, and that was recognized by their pedigree, and because Queen Victoria was the carrier of this disease. So there are some main types of hemophilia, that is hemophilia A, hemophilia B, and hemophilia C. Hemophilia A and B are mostly X-linked diseases, and hemophilia C is autosomal disease. So A and B affect men more than women because that is inherited by the carrier women mostly. So that will be like passed to the male side in the progeny. So, but hemophilia C affects both the sexes because equally they are equally present. Like they are present on autosomes. That's why both of the sexes are affected equally. So hemophilia A means what? So that is called classical hemophilia, or most commonly found, that is 80% cases are just found out about hemophilia A, and in that factor 88 is deficient. Factor A is actually the protein A, which is deficient in those persons. So the factors are also called proteins also. So there are some factors almost 1 to 1 to 13 factors are present which helps in blood clotting in human beings. So factor 1 is fibrinogen. We know that. And all is these proteins, they form the cascade reaction in the body while there is an injury to clot the blood. So due to large number of these hemophilia factors, so they are given by the Roman number 1 to 13. So when there is an injury, so what happened? The platelets which are present in the blood within no seconds, quickly they form a clot and clump by sticking together. And these activated platelets and damaged tissue which like are present at the place, at the place of bleeding, so they release chemicals. The chemicals react then with other chemicals and protein in plasma. So these proteins which are present in plasma, these are called factors, and they are 1 to 13 in numbers. So now one factor that stimulate the other factor, and other factor stimulate the other one, and the next to the next within the cell and within the blood as well in the body. So that is called cascade reactions or chain reactions. So the final step is what? This factor number 1, that is fibrinogen, that change into the long thread like structure that is called fibrin. And that fibrin, what it does, that fibrinogen is soluble protein, but after that that is changed into fibrin, the long strands and thin strands of that. So these strands form the meshwork, and like zigzag and crisscross and meshwork at the place of injury, and they trap the blood cells as well and form a solid clot. So when it forms a solid clot, so then the blood bleeding stops, and it forms a layer over it just to stop the bleeding outside. So they are like both are hemophilia A and B. They are inherited genetically. So hemophilia C is acquired hemophilia or coagulant factor 11 deficiency. That is very, very rare, almost 1 or less than 1%. So hemophilia B, that is called Christmas disease, or factor number 9 deficiency, that is almost 20% cases in all hemophilia. So if we see genetics of hemophilia, like how it is inherited to the other person. So hemophilia is X-linked genetic disorder, and it is inherited on the X chromosome. So our body is having 12 to 13 clotting factors, which together they clot the blood, and they are present on X chromosomes. So having too little, 8, 9, and 11 cause hemophilia. So hemophilia, the person with hemophilia only lack one factor, not the 3. Only one can lack in the person. So that X-linked inheritance, that is X-linked recessive inheritance. So that fathers cannot pass this X-linked traits to their sons, but it is inherited in zigzag manner. How in zigzag manner? Like from the father, it is transmitted to its daughter. When its daughter is married with the healthy person, so that because the daughter is carrier, so then their offspring can be suffered from this disease, in which the male can be the affected persons. If a male is affected and it has abnormal gene on X chromosome, because male is having X and Y chromosomes. So a female is a carrier of hemophilia if she has abnormal gene on one of her X chromosome, because female is having two X chromosomes. So even though she doesn't have the condition, she can pass the genes. For example, for hemophilia, healthy person which is not having hemophilia, like the gene is healthy, and all factors are present. So that is represented by capital H, and hemophilic is denoted by small h. So how this genetics in that disease is inherited? So you can see here, if the hemophilic women which is hemophilic, like both of the X chromosomes are having H and H, and person is normal, the man is normal with capital H, X chromosomes. So in the next generation, like these are the gametes, so female, like both are having the same chromosome, so we can write the only one copy of that in the gametes formation, and here XH capital and Y. So it can be like when we cross this one, so it can be H capital X H capital and H small. So it means that is the normal female, but the carrier for hemophilia. And here the person, the male offspring is hemophilic. So if the female is the carrier or female is the hemophilic, definitely it will transfer to the male to his boy the hemophilic factors, because they like X1X will come from the female, and from male Y will always come. So this X is always from female. So if it is she's carrier or she is hemophilic, so it will transmit hemophilic disease to its male offspring. Here is another case. If a female is normal, but the hemophilic man is there, they got married. They got married. So what happened? These are the gametes. So they can be. This is the chances can be like this. H plus and H small, both are the X, and here XY, and here XX, H capital and H small, here H capital and Y. So it means if the female is normal, so all the male offsprings will be normal. They will not be the affected person. Just remember this thing, if in the male there is small h in recessive diseases, so why does not have this type of we can see the genes over there. So that allele which is representing small h, it means that is hemophilic. So there is only one X, so hemophilic h will be, that is will not be carrier, that will be hemophilic. Proper hemophilic patient, that will be which is the male. So here in second case, both males are normal and both females are carrier, because here the male is carrier and one X comes from the female which is the normal, and one X comes from the male which is the hemophilic patient. So all the females, they are not a hemophilic, but they are carriers, so they can pass their hemophilic characteristics to the next generation, to the boys. Next, our next disorder, that is color blindness. So, as you know, that color blindness, like some colors are not visible to those persons. So let's talk about the genetics of color blindness, that this is the trait that is governed by a recessive gene located on X chromosome. So that is also X-linked recessive inheritance. So a person having such defect cannot differentiate between a red and green. So that is the most commonly found color blindness, but there are other also we'll talk about in a few minutes. So son from the marriage between color blind men and normal women will be the normal, but the daughters will be heterozygous condition, like they are carrier. In all X-linked in recessive inheritance, all the results will be same. Like if female is the normal and male is the carrier, so all daughters will be, male is the affected person or conditioned person, so all the daughters will be heterozygous condition. It means that they are um, carriers. If and the sons are normal, but if the female are the carriers, so the sons will be we can say the conditioned or the disordered person, or and all the daughters will be normal. So marriage of such carrier girl with colorblind boy will produce children each both male and female colorblind each of 50% cases. How does it happen, we will see here. So here let's talk about parents one. This is carrier, small c for carrier. And here because only one X chromosome, so this is color blind father. So these are the gametes, and when the fertilization occurs, so you see this is color blind female, carrier female, and this is color blind female because one come from this carrier mother and one come from the color blind male. And here is the normal X because it comes from this female, and when this will fertilize, it means one boy will be colorblind. So you can see half of the children are normal and half are colorblind. In normal, 25% are carriers, 25% are normal, and 50% are colorblind. You can see here, these are, for example, this is 100% children are there. So we can see the 25% are colorblind, carrier, and this is 25% normal. And if you see this one and this one, so 25 means 50%, so they are carrier colorblind for this type of couple. So what is colorblind actually? Colorblind is of three types. um, Two types actually. Trichromacy, chroma means color. So there are, if you know, there are three primary colors, and those are red, green, and blue. So what happened in normal trichromatic color vision, which is based on three different kinds of cones in the retina. So color blindness that depends on the cones in the retina, and that is sensitive to only one of three primary colors, red, green, and blue. So what happened? They are having a specific light absorption proteins called opsins. So uh, in genes for red and green opsins are on X chromosome, and gene for blue opsin that is present on autosome number 7, chromosome number 7. So mutations in opsin genes cause color blindness like dichromacy and monochromacy. So if we see here dichromacy, di means two, chromacy means color. So the person can distinguish between two colors only. So see only two of three primary colors, not the third one. So one type of cone is totally absent or non-functional. So now how it is done? Protanopia. If L cone, like because there are different type of cones which absorb different types of light, different light spectrum. So L cone, if L cone are absent, it means L cone are distinguished for red colors. So if L cones are absent, so red color blindness is there. The person cannot distinguish red color from others. So deuteranopia, in that M cones are absent, so green color blindness is the person. Tritanopia, that S cones are absent, and in that blue color blindness is there, and blue color cannot be seen from that person. So that is the absence of one type of cones. But if two types of cones are absent, the person can only see one type of color. Like blue cone monochromacy, it means red and green cone cells are absent. It is a red and green color blindness, and that is the main hereditary disease in which the person cannot distinguish red from the green. So we can see some of the genetics or Punnett squares for X-linked traits. Which linked traits? That is for color blindness. So now we'll see genetics of color blindness here. If the normal is the male and carrier is the female, so same is the case like all, like if the male is normal and female is carrier. So this carrier will transmit its X chromosome to the boy. If boy get this type of where the small r represents the color blindness, so or you can also here write C capital or here C capital and C small for that. So if there is a recessive X chromosome, which is having the recessive allele. So it means that boy is color blindness and that girl is carrier. So 50% are normal, 50% are having the colorblind effect, in which one is proper colorblind and the girl is like 25% as the carrier. If the male is colorblind and female is normal, so all the girls will be carrier, because this X, because one X come from the male, so this X in which the colorblind character is there, so both of the girls will be carrier. And it can be completely colorblind when the female is also the carrier, or female will be the colorblind. So it means they are X-linked inheritance, which are transmitted from the female side to the other persons, because X chromosome in double form, it is present in the female. So here all boys are normal. So here color blind boys get their traits from their carrier mothers, and here the colorblind dads make all of their daughters carrier. So from male, daughters will be carrier, from females, from female mother, from mother. So all the boys, some of the boys are 25% of the boys, we can say the half of the, if some boys are completely colorblind. Let's talk about the third most important one, genetics of muscular dystrophy, in which the muscles are getting damaged of the body. That is called Duchenne muscular dystrophy, and that is most common hereditary, but that is neuromuscular disease affecting all races, ethnic groups, all ethnic groups also, because that is commonly found in human beings. Not commonly, but that is a rare disease, but it can be in any area, any place, or anywhere. Its characteristics, clinical features are progressive of weakness, intellectual impairment, also hypertrophy of calves, like calf muscles get like more thicker from here, proliferation of connective tissue in the muscles also, so muscles get harder to move. So that is X-linked recessive trait, and that is the abnormal gene is present at XP21 locus. X means our X chromosome, and locus P21. So that is happened 1 in 3,600 live born infant boys. That is also that follows the same genetics as the colorblindness and the hemophilia we discussed, because that is also the X-linked recessive disease. So that is actually what is muscular dystrophy. That is the mutation in a dystrophin gene. Dystrophin gene that is actually codes for dystrophin, which is present in the normal muscles. So this dystrophin like that is missing in Duchenne patients. And what happened, the lack of dystrophin causes calcium to leak into the cells, which when calcium leaks into the cells from the bones as well and from the blood into the cell, so what it promotes the action of an enzyme that dissolves muscle fibers. Because calcium is also very much important for the muscles movement, but now it is gonna leak down, so now the muscles are going to be dissolve over there, like destruction of the muscles are there. So that is like muscles are susceptible to mechanical injury and undergo repeated cycles of necrosis and regeneration. So muscles get very thin, damaged, and in place like when the muscles are damaging, so there is connective tissues can follow this and proliferate over there, so muscles get harder. So ultimately regenerative capabilities are exhausted or inactivated. So in this disease that affects mostly the children, and they may include the frequent falls, large calf muscles, because they are we can see the connective tissues are going to be accumulate over there, getting up from a lying and sitting position, that will be very critical condition. Weakness in the lower muscles resulting in difficulty in running, jumping, waddling gait, like abdomen and coughs will protrude out of the body, and mild mental retardness is this. In these cases, hardly the children can survive up to age 20, and it is inevitably wheelchair bound by the age of 12, and eventually becomes severely wasted, and normal breathing becomes difficult because lungs muscles can also be damaged by this, and therefore the affected males are rarely fathers, and they, these recessive genes are inherited from the female side. So that is X-linked genetic recessive disorder, and that is inherited by mother, in which the sporadic mutation is there in the X cells. Means there is a sudden mutation that is actually not inherited, but if the mother get this type of problem during meiosis, or like this gene which dystrophin gene, which is for protein dystrophin, if this is affected or mutated, so that will be inherited to the upcoming babies. So the result is an abnormality of the gene code for protein dystrophin, lacking in lack of dystrophin. So that is also following the same inheritance as is followed by the color blindness and in hemophilia, like a carrier female can just pass this to, you can see here, carrier female can pass this to the boys, and if the female, that is the carrier one. But half of the children are normal, the female are carrier, and if it's passed down to the male, that will be the affected one. So the probability that how many males get this type of a problem is suffering, so it means 35% male, or we can say the 25 children are suffering from muscular dystrophy or color blindness or hemophilia. That is the same ratio in all these three, because they are following the same pattern of X-linked genetic recessive disorders. So, dear students, with this topic, we have completed our chapter number 22, Inheritance. Inshallah, we will start our new chapter in the next lecture. I wish you all the best, and see you then, inshallah. Allah Hafiz.